Hello and welcome to the High Altitude Investing live stream. Today's stream is about Bitcoin, obviously, but we're going to be reviewing some technical analysis, going over some coins and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for all of that. And then also, as always, we got the discount for the VIP towards the end if you're interested in that as well. I apologize for the lighting. My blinds in the background are kind of screwing it up a little bit, but yeah, so let me switch to my screen here and then we'll kind of get started going here with this stream. Welcome everybody. Got some viewers coming in. Good deal, good deal. Can you guys hear me clearly? Everything going well? Oh yeah, and by the way, I had one of my team members get back to a lot of emails today. So if you sent me an email, then I probably got back to you, Mr. Prox. If not, go ahead and resend that email. I get a ton of them, and so occasionally they can get lost in my mail. But yeah, things are looking really, really good right now in the markets. Quite exciting. Okay, cool. Want to make sure everybody could hear me. We had this Bitcoin breakout occur. If you follow me on TradingView, which I'll go ahead and drop a link so that you guys can make sure to follow me on there if you don't already. There you go. So if you guys follow me on TradingView, then you know that I said Bitcoin would bounce here, because the main reason is actually because of trending support. Bitcoin just hit a 70-degree trend line. We had been riding a 50-degree trend line previously, so we just hit a 70, so things are going to get really parabolic and move very quickly on the upside. So it's a good time to send if you have some long-term holds in Bitcoin. I've been sending them over to exchanges and getting ready to sell because my target is $10,000 per coin, and that should happen pretty quickly once it starts to really take off in the next week or so, I suspect. Sometime around the beginning of December is when I see that 10K Bitcoin coming. But basically, it's a good time to send some money to those exchanges so that you can make sure to have your orders in place so you don't miss that. Because it is going to happen really quickly at the top, and then it's going to crash really hard too. So you're going to want to have your Bitcoin ready for that. But yeah, we did call this bounce on my TradingView. Very clear here. Nice bounce off this double bottom. It's the ABC correction, and then I went ahead and talked about how this goes along with my 10K call and all that good stuff. So I was going to try and tell people to catch another entry right here, but then we had that FOMO breakout, so didn't quite catch those entries. So yeah, things are looking good in the Bitcoin space. A lot of people are panicking right now. Definitely no reason to panic. Let's go ahead and zoom out and I'll show you exactly why there's no reason to panic. So I just went to one-day candlesticks. This is on Bitfinex. So basically the reason for this is because of trend angles. Our first trend line in Bitcoin was really like a 1-degree trend line here when we started consolidating at 1100. Came up and hit that 1100 mark and then 1300 and kind of dipped back down. And then we hit a steeper trend line right here. This trend angle is something like 5-6 degrees. And then we hit this trend line right here, which is about 15 degrees. And then we hit this trend line right here, which is about 35. And then you get this 60 degrees, somewhere around there, trend line starting to form here in Bitcoin. And so that's why we caught support so quickly here, is because the trend line is moving in the same math that seashells use. So I'll go ahead and drop that real quick so you guys can see. Google Images is great. So yeah, this type of expansion where the prices get higher and higher and higher and higher and go parabolic, that's how crypto markets, that's the market cycle in crypto, is we have parabolic movement. So the trend lines get steeper and steeper. So that's why we bounced right there so hard. And, you know, that's why everybody was trying to call the top, because it broke out and it looks like it has resistance here, but it actually just fell into support. So that's kind of how I made that call. I wanted to point that out to you guys because I've been talking about it a lot in my VIP lounge. Yes, the hat is on today, Andreas. I couldn't not wear the hat on a Bitcoin breakout day. Things are exciting today. I woke up with a big smile on my face. So, but yeah, that's kind of why I'm bullish on Bitcoin still, and why everybody else wasn't, or at least a lot of people on TradingView. I'm not going to say everybody, of course, but a lot of people are trying to call the top and stuff, and I warned in this call that everybody was trying to call the top, but of course, you know, everybody's going to do what they're going to do. So, all right, got a question here. Let me look. Dallin, what is the difference between the course on your personal website versus the course being advertised on YouTube? It's the exact same course. One of them is just being sold through an affiliate program I have set up, but it's the exact same course. So if you buy it directly through me, then I get a higher percentage of that sale, but that's clearly all up to you. So yeah, if you want to support me more, go ahead and buy it through my website, the official website in the description. All right, so now I'm getting questions about Lisk. So let me finish up my Bitcoin TA here, and we'll kind of go into some altcoins. So yeah, Bitcoin, we're just waiting for that extension up to $10,000 based on the Fibonacci. So if we just draw this trend-based extension tool, we can see that our next target is up here in the 10,000. 86 looks like some significant resistance. I'm not paying too much attention to it though because of the buying pressure. So yeah. Oh, primitive trading. Speaking of which, in the description here, my buddy and my admin in the Discord, Primitive AI, created his own YouTube channel. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. He's doing technical analysis on stuff. I really like the way that he's doing it. His perspective is great. So go ahead and follow him on YouTube, Primitive Trading. He's one of my Discord members. So just thought I'd give a quick shout out to him today. Alright, so the reason that it will crash after 10K is because of Elliott wave theory. So this is something that I have been trading a lot recently. It's actually one of my newer trading plans that I've learned is Elliott wave theory, because I used to do more day trading, but now I've gotten these longer term setups down. And the way that I've kind of figured this out is with Elliott waves, and according to the fifth wave, in Elliott wave, after the fifth wave, you have an ABC retracement. So when Bitcoin does top out and hit resistance, we can expect to have an A leg, a B leg, and a C leg, probably back down to $4,000 or $5,000 mark. So that's kind of why I suspect a retracement at 10,000. But that's an excellent question. Alright, so that's kind of my TA on Bitcoin. Now let's go into some of the alts because they are fire right now, because all of the fundamentals, people are excited about the fundamental changes, but I mean, from a technical perspective, I've been watching this Bitcoin breakout in a while. People are always going to blame it on the news. I personally never buy or sell ever based on news articles, and I recommend that you do the same because I've found it to be the most accurate. So we'll go ahead and look at the Lisk Bitcoin chart here. Let me just go ahead and remove my drawing tools. So Lisk has double bottomed in this channel. We have a nice solid trend line right here. And it is on my watch list. That's actually a position that I currently have because I posted a signal for it a few days ago. For some of my paying members, the Mastermind VIP members, posted a signal for them. And this coin is about to pop up, so, you know, pay attention to it. If you want to try and get on it, buy the dip, but the risk to reward isn't as good as when I posted the actual entry. So if you want to get those good entries, check out my course on my website so you can follow along with those. But definitely this is actually very good looking, and it should head up towards these resistance levels previously seen. So yeah, Lisk is one that I've been watching and holding and referring people to buy. So it's a great one to keep your eyes on. Hey, what's up, Crypto? It's good to see you here. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in today, you guys. I appreciate all the viewers. We've got 230 plus, so thank you. That's quite the turnout so far. All right, so now let's get some requests for altcoins, and I'll start doing TA on them because this is pretty exciting. Also, I do want to point out a little pro tip for you guys. Check volume rankings. If you want to find a good coin to trade, find one that's averaging high volume monthly and is really cheap. And that's very general, but that's a good way to look into certain coins to trade. Here's a volume rankings if you want to look at that. And Lisk is on those volume rankings, by the way. Oh, now we're getting poured in with requests. Good to see. Good to see. Okay, so ARK is one that I've been watching as well for a bounce, so we'll start with that. Again, very, very good chart pattern here. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail here because this is a signal, so I can't give you guys the exact targets and stuff because this is a paid signal for my VIP members. But I will say that ARK looks like it's going to bounce here and head up towards resistance levels. So be paying attention to the ARK chart. It just hit major trending support. I don't know if we'll see continuation past resistance, but it is up for a bounce here. So it's a signal, so I can't tell you where to buy or where to sell or anything like that because that's a paid signal. All right. Now let's go over, let's see, what was the next one? Neo. Okay, Neo. And also a quick question from Living His Life, Dallin. What do you think about trading on alternative markets? Which markets do you trade with and trust? So actually, I've tried to trade alternative markets and I don't like them. And it's not that I have anything against stock trading. It's just that I understand cryptocurrency market cycles way better than stock patterns and stock cycles because the market cycles are completely different. And so for me, I have higher accuracy trading cryptocurrency because it's what I know. So I don't actually do too much world market trading. I will short the S&P 500 when we near the top because it's getting there in the next year or two. We should near a top. So I do plan on shorting the S&P, but other than that, not really too much into traditional markets. All right, so now let's go over Neo, heavily requested here. So I originally thought that we were going to have one more dip down in Neo based on analyzing the previous fractal. The previous pump we had a bounce here after falling onto support, came up, hit resistance, and then it fell all the way back down to that support level. So I was suspecting this to bounce, come up to resistance, and then fall back to support again here because it broke support on the descending triangle formation right here. But this is a good example of how, you can't always be perfect on your technical analysis, and sometimes it's going to do completely opposite of what you expect it to, like this, where it wicked up, the buying pressure came back in, and we have a nice bullish breakout here. So my long-term target didn't change from $100. I was just suspecting it to bounce off this. So if you follow me on TradingView, you know that my long-term target for Neo is around $100 sometime the beginning of next year. It could happen sooner depending on how parabolic things go, but that's my current target. Oh, you're referring to the CoinMarketCap coins. So yeah, I do trade the altcoins a lot, actually. That's where the biggest percentage gains are. The most secure one to trade is Bitcoin. It's the best one to have your long positions on. It's really easy to trade. You buy the dips on Bitcoin. But we are nearing a top on that, so you don't want to chase it. So it's not the best risk to reward ratio unless you're day trading right now. So definitely I do trade the altcoins, but Bitcoin is the best long, and you don't want to chase. All right, so iConomy. Wow, we just keep getting these. So iConomy is actually was dropped on multiple major investing lists. People that do more long-term investing in the cryptocurrency world has started to talk about iConomy a little bit. ICN maybe is the symbol. Yeah, there we go. And this one you can trade on Kraken. So let's look at the dollar chart here. So this is nearing the bottom of its market cycle. It's ready to bounce. This is what is called a falling wedge formation here. I just saw this right off the bat. You can see we have downtrending resistance, and then we have downtrending support. And that's a falling wedge pattern. You can go ahead and like find this on Google if you like. Falling wedge, because I always Google these patterns for you guys. In a falling wedge pattern, generally you find that when you break resistance, you have an upward move towards the center of the wedge. So with iConomy, this looks very, very good. Looks like it's being accumulated at these lows. If we draw a Fibonacci retracement, we know that we like to buy the 786 and those low retracements. This one went all the way down to the .88, or an 88% retracement from the top. So from its high at $6, it lost 88% of its value. This happens a lot in cryptocurrency. This is why you have to use stop losses, because if you end up getting too excited and you buy the top of something, you might end up losing 80% or more of your investment before it significantly bounces. So use stop losses, as I always preach, because things go all the way up and they go all the way back down. That's why you buy the dip in trading, so you can use tight stops towards the bottom. So iConomy looks very good, and it's in this falling wedge pattern that almost all of the altcoins are in. A lot of altcoins are in this falling wedge pattern, and generally we find that the falling wedge pattern sees a pump up towards around the center of the wedge, sometimes a little bit below that, but we can expect a move on the upside in iConomy from here. Very good looking. A lot of these altcoins look amazing, you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and check out XMR. Now, I want to point out something on Monero, because, let's see, let me remove my drawing tools here. Whew, there we go. Now, Monero is doing a very, very nice run on the upside today. We caught support at $81. Now, there's something interesting going on with Monero, and I wanted to point this out. So if you already know I'm bullish on Lisk, so if you look and you compare the two charts together, add symbol, LSK, this is a great example of how Bitcoin is driving the prices of altcoins. So if we compare Lisk versus the dollar, to Monero versus the dollar. See if this chart will load for us. All right, now let's go ahead and double click on this. Make it align so it's a little easier to see for you guys. Style. Apologize for the little bit of lag going on right now. Sometimes this happens in my streams. Okay. I'm moving out of my small little hometown here at the beginning of the year, so I should have access to like Google internet, and it will be way faster than what I have in this little hometown in Utah. So let me get this working though. Apologize for any lag. Oops. Pop this up. Style. Drop down, come on. Please work. Line. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Now, if you compare these two charts together, you can see that they're actually identical in the way that they're moving here. Basically, since 03, 07, 17, we've seen very, very strong correlations in Lisk and Monero. So I think they're both going to moon together. Now, interestingly enough, you can throw the Bitcoin chart on top of this Bitcoin dollar, and you'll see that for the most part, they follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin just starts earlier than the altcoins do. So let me get this line going. Again, I apologize for that lag. So as you can see, this is the Bitcoin, the two blue lines. Well, let me change this color actually for you guys. Okay, red is Bitcoin, blue is Lisk, and then the candlesticks are Monero. So they've all been following Bitcoin on the waves, but Bitcoin takes off on that third wave quicker than the alts. The alts get held down longer than Bitcoin. This is probably because it makes a lot of sense for whales to only want one thing to be mooning hard at a time, because they can move their profits from one coin into another at the dip, but they can't do that if they're both mooning at the same time. So I think that's kind of what the whales have going on right now, is they're letting alts fall really hard, getting their money in Bitcoin, and then selling the top on Bitcoin and getting into alts for their fifth waves. So that's what I think is going to happen here. So let me take those off. But yeah, Monero is going to head up on the upside, probably break resistance of $140 and see continuation. All right, so now let's go over Ripple. Now, when you look at Ripple and pretty much any cryptocurrency chart, it's best to look at the dollar, because otherwise it's going to fall through all form of support and you won't even understand it. So look at the BT or the XRP US dollar pair and not the XRP BTC pair, or you'll get confused. But yeah, we did hit trending support on XRP. So as long as this support line holds, then we will see continuation on the upside in Ripple. But that support has to hold here, so pay attention to that line. Okay. Now we are getting a lot of Ethereum OS requests. All right, so I actually haven't looked at EOS in a minute, so this is all 100% fresh-minded TA. Last time I looked at it was this little ascending triangle formation that I traded here at around 64 cents and then sold into this profit area here. But we do look like we started a first wave. So this could easily be the first wave in a market. We did break major downtrending resistance, but it could also be a bull trap. So in this case, I wouldn't personally buy it here because it's too high. The really good spot to buy would have either been right here, or it's very possible that this becomes a bull trap and we see a downside continuation to the 786, in which case that would be the best spot for entries, because buying the 786 gives you the tightest stop loss you can use so that you're not risking very much of your trade. So yeah, it could see continuation here, but because we have this Ichimoku cloud resistance, it could easily be a bull trap, so don't buy this at current prices. All right, IOTA. I just did Ripple, by the way, so you're just gonna have to go ahead and watch this later because it will be uploaded to YouTube for later viewing. Okay, IOTA. Now this one is broken out very nicely here as well, but let's go ahead and check it out on the bigger time frames. Okay. For IOTA, we do have a little bit of a wedge formation here. Looks like we did have that falling wedge again that we keep seeing pop up over and over. Generally, you see that those falling wedges have an ABC retracement inside of them, like that. And then you have that strong bull break. Now, this isn't, obviously, you don't want to FOMO into anything. So when stuff breaks out, it falls back to support. So generally, what happens in these falling wedges is you want to buy down here, but you wait until it breaks resistance to confirm the wedge, and then you buy the dip after the breakout and catch the profits. So don't buy right now on IOTA, but it did just break out of a falling wedge and will probably hit support again and then see upside continuation. So a lot of these coins look super good today. All right, oops, put my RSIs back on for you guys too. All right, so Ethereum Classic is one that I've already done technical analysis on. If you follow me on TradingView, I'll drop the link. Go ahead and follow me there, please, and go like my stuff. Then you'll see that I have all of these charts, and one of them is Ethereum Classic. Again, this falling wedge pattern, man, it's everywhere. We see that falling wedge pattern pop up, a breakout and descending resistance, so expect it to fall back onto support and then see upside continuation. But yeah, I've already done TA on ETC if you follow me on TradingView. All right, WTC. Oh, and also just wanted to point out this, so nobody gets caught in the bull trap on Gorosly coin. This is going to see a bigger retracement on the downside. So yeah, definitely not trying to buy Gorosly right now. Just wanted to let you guys know that's a warning right there from Gorosly. Okay, WTC. I don't see that symbol on TradingView, that ticker, so I can't do TA on it. So Vericoin, I'm assuming. So this one has started, it's basically doing exactly what, it's basically, yeah, let's see, is this VRC? Yeah, VRC. It's basically doing what VTC did too. They're following each other, interestingly enough. This is a 1 wave and then a potential 3 wave, so we could see continuation on the upside here. I would count the waves something like this. Maybe we see a pattern like this play out. Oops, the 4 wave can't be below the 1. Wow, come on, Dallin. Ah, there we go. Bam. Something like this play out. Started its new market cycle, but don't FOMO in, you guys. Try to buy the panic. So, looks good though. Definitely one to pay attention to. VRC, Vericoin. All right. So my targets on Stellar still haven't changed, you guys. If you follow me on TradingView, go ahead and check out my targets for Stellar because you can find them on here. It just started a new market cycle, so I'm expecting potential 3 wave and then a 5 on the continuation. So these are my targets for lumens. The first take profit is just above 10 cents. So 10 cents would probably be major resistance and a good spot to sell your to set your first sell orders. And BitShares also, again, still haven't changed my ideas on BitShares. We're just waiting to see that pump on the upside here, but we have bottomed out on this support and expecting a bounce out of that falling wedge. All right. Now let's go over Strat. Ooh, 270 people online. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Strat. Oops, that's Start. I always do that. Stratus. Okay. Stratus against the dollar. So, against the dollar, looks very, very good. I just want to point out real quickly that against Bitcoin, this is another one of those falling wedge patterns that you have playing out here. And again, this just goes to show that you don't FOMO in on the breakouts because it falls back to support. I was pointing that out in the smaller time frames to my VIPs one day that when stuff breaks out right here, falls back to support, and then it's time to buy. So looks very, very, very good on Stratus, you guys. This was a 100% move right here when it broke out. So good risk to reward ratio here on Stratus. If you draw the Fibonacci from the low to the high, we're just around the 88% Fibonacci. So very good looking here. All right, somebody's spamming Civic. Please don't spam calls. I will look it over though. Okay, Civic, dollar. So this is one that looks like it has started to potentially double bottom. Oops, delete. So this coin has started a potential double bottom formation on these lows. We do need to see this downtrending resistance have a clear breakout on the upside. So watch those levels right off the bat. Watch these downtrending resistance levels, though it is super oversold and basically, like all the other altcoins, is expecting some upward momentum to come in. Alright, so support lines, basically support and resistance. Go ahead and check out my YouTube video, how to trade support and resistance. It's in my beginner playlist on my YouTube channel, and that will explain what support and resistance is. But basically, areas where the price is previously rejected or people sold them are areas that you can expect people to sell them again. And same with buying. Places people buy, you can expect them to buy again. So that's support and resistance. It's just where the sellers come in and where the buyers come in. All right. Salt. Cool. Scout, I do have a course so that if people want to learn more, they can buy it. It's on my website, highaltitudecrypto.io. But I like to give out a ton of free content as well, so that's why this stream is all free content for you guys. All right, so let me look at this chart here. This was freshly added, so I don't trust it. We just don't have enough data to see clear market cycles. I wouldn't touch salt. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. Looks like it's in a clear downtrend, lower lows. Don't touch this coin. It's probably going to dump. So unless we have a clear double bottom and breakout and start a new market cycle, but right now its cycle is clearly on the downside. All right, metal, MTL, metal dollar. Great. Let's look here. Zoom out, get a bigger picture of what's going on. All right, so this one reminds me of OMG, actually. I wonder if we compare these charts if they're going to look the same. OMG, Omnis Go dollar. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Interesting. My brain is really good with pattern recognition, and so sometimes I notice when two coins look exactly the same, like Lisk or Monero, and clearly metal and OMG. Line, there we go. So yeah, it looks like metal and OMG could kind of be done from a technical perspective together. They both look like they have found some sort of support here on these lows, but we do want to see a clear break. I'm going to delete this OMG chart there so you can see better. We do need to see a clear break in the downtrending resistance before I suspect a bullish market cycle to start. But it could catch bottoms here. If it catches bottoms, and if we do have a breakout, then it would be a good time to look into potentially buying metal and OMG. But right now I'm just watching those descending resistance lines before I buy. It is bouncing though, like all of the alts, because all the altcoins got very, very, very oversold, so they're all gonna bounce, or most of them. Not every single coin is obviously gonna do the same thing, but they do generally follow Bitcoin. Waves, dollar. Alright, so this is one that I've been watching very closely. We had a false breakout in trending support. So this was a false breakdown, I mean. This happens a lot. This is actually one of my favorite spots to get filled in something. If I'm watching a coin and it has a solid trend line, a lot of times you'll see it false break below that trend line. Everybody starts to panic. All of their stop losses get triggered and you buy, because what ends up happening is most breakouts and breakdowns are false breakouts. So when you're looking for that breakdown like this, it actually provides very good entries because odds are it's a false breakdown. So that would have been a good spot to get filled on waves with an excellent risk to reward ratio. You could have used like 1%. If you can buy when it breaks the trend line and it's a false breakdown, you can use like a 1% stop loss. So yeah, waves is very, very good looking, and it will go to new all-time highs. So long as resistance can continue to be broken like this, it's going to keep on the upside here. Alright, let's look at the next requests. Quantum, or Qtum, I don't even know what it's actually called. I just call it Quantum because it looks good and sounds about right, maybe. Alright, remove all the drawing tools. So this is one that we still have open positions on. We basically traded this falling wedge against Bitcoin. Right here, there's this nice falling wedge pattern. We bought the dip on that falling wedge. We caught some gains right here. Set our stop loss to basically break even. And it looks like it could see upside continuation, but I'm not going to buy this market because I already traded my setup, which was this falling wedge. So definitely a volatile market and not very clear direction right now. So it's not one that I would feel comfortable taking a trade outside of those simple patterns like a falling wedge. I wouldn't try to trade this trend because there's no clear trend. All right. So XCP, I think that's Counterparty. If I remember, yeah, that's Counterparty. Poloniex should have the most data for this one. Again, this looks like another one of those first cycles in a bigger market. So this could easily see upside continuation here. Watch these descending resistance levels. The wicks have descending resistance, but also the bodies have a clear descending resistance here. So if we can't break that resistance, it's probably going to continue down. But right now we do have strong support. It's been trending really since the beginning of the year. We've had a nice trend on the upside here, and same with right here. This trend started to get a little steeper. But we are kind of consolidating into this pennant type triangle here. So watch for a break in either direction. Upside break would probably see this go up to $30. That would be my first target if we see an upside break, which is over 100% gains from its current spot. But you never want to buy a green candle, which is exactly what we have right in front of us. So wait for a red day. Yeah, so I only look at the alt dollar charts because the Bitcoin graph screws it up. Bitcoin goes parabolic and then it makes it look like all of the alts break all support, when really against the dollar they've been holding support fine. So that's why I look at the dollar charts. If it doesn't have a USDT market, then I'll look at the dollar chart to find my entry and use the Bitcoin market to buy it, because it technically doesn't matter which one you buy it in. it's going to be the same value either way. We already went over ARC at the start of this stream, so stay tuned. Later this evening, this stream will be uploaded for YouTube, so you can watch it on there and get the ARC targets. So let's look at ZRX. Not ZRK, ZRX, K, dollar. So this one is still lacks a clear trend. So this could be a bottom, but it could also be a bear flag, because bear flags look something like this. And then you have a fall through support and you see downside continuation. So there's just not a clear enough trend for me to want to trade this coin. I know that based on fundamentals, this coin could see upside continuation down the road, but from a technical perspective, I wouldn't touch this for a while until we have a clear trend. And I was pointing this out in my start to finish TA series up here, but we just didn't have enough data to get a clear prediction, and we still don't have that data yet. So avoiding ZRX for now, based on technicals. If you can't locate the Primitive Trading YouTube channel, I'll drop the link again right here. There you go. That's my admin and one of my Discord members, Primitive AI. I highly recommend checking out his YouTube channel. He just started doing trading videos, so support him. Komodo. Yes, let's take a look at KMD. Komodo dollar. Now, I'm probably going to have a bunch of new VIP signups because of this live stream. So for anybody that is signing up for VIP, I have somebody that's working on all of the automation. Started emailing back and forth with them. But currently, I don't actually have the swaps automated, so it could take up to 24 hours for me to go ahead and switch your account to VIP so you can see all of the trades. But just go ahead and be patient for that, because I'll probably get a lot of requests and have to switch a lot of them over. So just wanted to let you guys know that sometimes that takes up to 24 hours to get you switched over until I have all of that automation finished. Okay, so this has a very, very strong support trend. It's experienced a 1 wave and a 2 wave and a 3 wave and a 4 wave. And it looks like we're headed for the 5 wave. I wouldn't buy it. The risk-reward ratio is too bad. I don't want to FOMO. It would have been better to buy out the trend line here at $1.58. But because... so yeah, I wouldn't have bought this one because of that. But it does look like we could have some type of a pattern forming. This low actually is below the 1, so that's not valid. But watch these trending support lines and watch for a breakout and resistance here. It's a potential ascending triangle on Komodo. Generally on ascending triangles, they break out and have a pretty good chance of falling back to support, like we saw in Bitcoin today at the breakout. Most markets fall back to support on breakouts. So that could be a potential entry for KMD after the break in resistance, if you're looking to trade that. But yeah, I was going to say that's an Elliott wave pattern, but the 4 actually drops below the 1, making it invalid. So just watch those trend lines. All right. Sia coin. This looks pretty bad. Okay, that's Bittrex though, so there's not a ton of data. Don't want to say it looks too bad. Yeah, okay, yeah, there we go. There's our data. And here you guys go. More falling wedge patterns everywhere, man. Look at that. Oops. Support would be something more like right here. There's another one of those falling wedges that we keep seeing. Let's see. This does look like it had an ABC inside of that wedge. So that's a retracement, the Elliott retracement there. Nice ABC correction. Extremely good risk to reward ratio, and it's doing what all of those coins are doing, which is breaking out of those falling wedges, and they'll fall back onto support. Might even fall just a little bit lower than the lowest support where it broke out of, to like 25k sats would be a good entry, and then you'll see that bounce on the upside. Again, it's doing what Stratus did. It's just late to the game, hasn't fell back. Stratus is the only one that's actually buy right this second. Well, I mean, you know, not right this second. Better be careful saying that. But basically what I'm saying is it completed the breakout and fell back onto support, so the risk and reward ratio is good for my personal setup on those falling wedges. But yeah, that does look very good here in Sia coin with a nice full retracement. Could easily start another market cycle on the upside, but you want to see a nice volume come in on this break. So we want to see more volume come in. And then you want to buy the dip if that volume comes in after the breakout. Okay. Peter, I do not advise shorting Bitcoin in a bullish market. Never fight a trend. If you're in an extremely bullish market, don't fight a trend. Wait until you're in a bearish market to start shorting stuff, because betting against the house and betting against the probabilities is not what a trader does. Traders take bets when the probabilities are in their favor, and so you don't fight trends. So do not short Bitcoin. Do not short Bitcoin. All right, so Ethereum. This is one that I'm watching very closely, because I might end up putting some of my Bitcoin into Ethereum when we reach the top. We'll have to see how the bottom formation looks at the time, but we do have very, very nice trending support. This could easily be an ascending triangle formation, so watch those support levels. This reminds me a lot of Bitcoin back when it was first breaking out and consolidating up at 500, and it looks like it's ready for a bigger market cycle to play out where it breaks resistance and sees upside continuation. But watch that support line right here. If that support trend breaks, then it will see downside movement. So but yeah, Ethereum, definitely one to pay attention to and keep your eyes on. And the Ethereum Bitcoin pair is actually one that I've been looking to margin trade soon, because we have this huge falling wedge pattern again against Bitcoin. So that means that we are starting to have that alt pressure come back in. That volume's starting to pick up. So if we see a nice breakout in resistance and a fall back, this could be a margin pair that you could trade on Poloniex. But yeah, definitely falling wedge, ABC retracement, fell back to the 786 support, and as we know, we try to buy in those lowest retracements. So looking very good on Ethereum. All right, so let's check out Rise. So Rise just barely kind of started this uptrend here, so I would suspect it falls back to the trend line a couple more times. So if you're looking for entries, aim to buy the trend line, because this this looks like it's just not quite done bottoming on the downside. Let's check it out against Bitcoin, make sure that there's not really too much of a different story. I mean, we do have a falling wedge again. They're everywhere, man. Just like that, nice falling wedge pattern, but we want to see that breakout and a fall back to support. So yeah, I would aim to buy the trend line if you can, or buy the dip after the breakout and resistance of this wedge. The resistance is around 4,600 Satoshis. Oh, Game Jam. Yes, SegWit 2X is canceled. This is why you don't trade fundamentals, because a lot of times they're just FUD to scare people away, and it's really, really, really hard to calculate whether how much news is going to affect a market, because you have no clue how many people are going to see that news article, how many people are going to believe that news article. You have no clue whether the news article is even real. There's just way too many factors that have too many variables to have any real speculation come from trading news, in my opinion. And a lot of people, that's very, very, very controversial, but because a lot of people trade only based on fundamentals, and they're more long-term investors, though, and that's the difference. Sometimes you have long-term investors that use fundamentals, and that's okay, but as a trader, I don't touch news. So SegWit 2X getting canceled doesn't surprise me one bit at all, because I haven't read a cryptocurrency news article in God knows how long. So, all right, we already went over Neo at the start of the stream, so go ahead and watch this again later. It will be uploaded to YouTube. All right, new economy movement. Yeah, I think it's good they canceled it too. All right, XEM dollar. So this one is very, very nice here. I would pay attention to this channel. So if we kind of zoom out here, I'd start watching this, because we could see a channel come out of this area here. Vertical line extended. We could easily start to see kind of a channel forming here in new economy movement. So watch that for resistance and watch that for support. But I bet you it follows this channel for a minute. Very, very strong trending support here. Looks pretty good in my eyes. Or at least bounce up somewhere to the middle here off that trend. Okay, BAT. Yeah, we can go over BAT. Basic attention coin. Alright, so this could be a double bottom formation. Let's see if I can find any patterns off the bat here. We do have some wedging again, but it's not as drastic as before. But watch those resistance levels on that downtrending resistance. It does look pretty good here, though, actually. This was recently added to Bittrex, so keep your eyes on this one. I think this was also on that list that was released by that pretty big investing group mentioning basic attention. So yeah, watch to buy the dip after the breakout. We're just waiting for these breakouts and descending resistance and volume to confirm these moves on the upside. Pretty much all of them are doing the same pattern, just like a little bit different. So, but yeah, some of them are going to fail. The determining factor is really how much volume comes in on the breakout right here, so watch that. Now let's look at ADX, which I've been watching closely because against Bitcoin, we are in a falling wedge pattern. Let me remove my drawing tools. Remove all drawing tools. Okay. Against Bitcoin, we are in a falling wedge pattern again. I'm pretty sure that because a lot of coins follow each other, that's why so many are doing the same patterns right now. And that's why it's so easy to identify that. But yeah, watch for that breakout in resistance. Could easily see a bounce on the upside here. But it could also fall through support if the volume doesn't come in. So watch that volume on the breakout. Alright, XVC, because it just keeps getting spammed. XVC. This one looks exactly like Komodo did. So, I mean, we could probably compare this and see the exact same following each other. when all these charts follow each other, just find the one that's averaging the most in the monthly volume rankings and trade that one, because then you can get filled and exit a lot easier, because a lot of them are going to follow the exact same chart patterns, but some of them are going to average better volume and be less risky to trade. So trade the ones that are doing the same pattern but are averaging better volume. So let's drop the KMD chart on top of this. KMD settings, style, line, okay, there we go. Yeah, so these ones are following each other exactly the same. So let's go see which one is averaging more volume, Vcash and XVC. So let's go look here. The first one that pops up, Vcash, it's either going to be Vcash or Komodo, the first one. Waves, Salt, Verge, Metal, Sys, Triggers, first coin, Vcash. So Vcash is averaging more volume, so it would be the less risky option out of the two to trade. It'd be less risky than Komodo to trade because of that higher volume monthly rankings. So when they're following the same pattern, trade the one with more volume. All right. Now let's take a look at Litecoin, because somebody really wanted it super bad. So let's make their day real quick. Litecoin, Poloniex. All right, so Litecoin could have potentially started a new wave set. I'm watching to break the resistance of $70. It could see upside continuation, but it did fall below this first trend line. It's not my favorite chart, I'm going to be honest. It's not one that I would sit there and accumulate or anything. So it could see upside continuation, but again, you would have to see that break in the 1 point, and it's also possible that it sees a bigger retracement because we have this Ichimoku resistance and no clear trading patterns to go off of. All right. So let's see if we have anything else. Okay, so I would go over Factom and Bitcoin Cash, but those are both VIP calls, so I don't want to give out information on where we're buying and where we're selling on those coins. But yeah, I think we'll do one more coin here, and then we'll answer any specific questions at the end and see where we can go from there. Yes, Zcash. That's a good one. Zec. Alright, so let me remove all my drawing tools here. Zoom in a little bit. If I remember right, this one is again following that same pattern that KMD and all of them are following. Let's make sure that is valid. KMD dollar bit. Okay. Yes, that is valid. KMD is trading the same pattern as Zcash and Vcash, so they're all exactly the same formation. Let me drop this down so you can see the lines a little bit clearer. Yeah, so again, same pattern. I bet you Zcash averages the most volume out of all of them though, so Zcash would be the most effective trade out of all three of those, because it's averaged over $1 billion in volume this month, and it's heavily hyped. It's got names like JP Morgan behind it, so I definitely see it continuing on the upside. Alright, so that's pretty much my last coin here. Zcash looks super good on this trend line. Very good risk to reward ratio for entries along that trend line, so keep your eyes on it. Looking excellent there. This is a blue Yeti, I believe, microphone. I actually bought it off my little brother the other day. It's very nice. Shout out to Game Jam on YouTube for selling it to me. Alright, so yeah, great. I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go over in this stream today. I appreciate every single one of you guys that tuned in. I hope that you've all been staying profitable in these markets, holding your Bitcoins and not believing everybody that tells you to sell them, because obviously, as you can see, it just keeps going up. So, you know, it's very, very good looking across the board in cryptocurrency. It's been an exciting day. If you're interested in my VIP course, you can go ahead and check it out on my website, highaltitudecrypto.io, where you can have more videos to learn about trading technical analysis and also access to my buying and selling signals. So I post where to buy and where to sell, multiple signals. So go ahead and check that out on my website, highaltitudecrypto.io, and you can use the coupon code CryptoMoon18 at sign up. And again, I get a lot of these sign-ups when I do the stream, so I would ask that you have a little patience in getting switched over to the VIP. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that tuned in today. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you in the next stream, and as always, stay profitable out there, guys.